Alrighty, folks, time to get settled in for the biggest Sylvania Cup race of every season, the 777 Annual from Las Vegas Motorspeedway. Folks, time to get settled in. And tonight it's gonna be, I guess today, but let's just pretend it's the nighttime here in Vegas, as to keep the ideal. Either that or it's super early in the morning that it's still dusk out. The sun has not quite risen here in Nevada. And these drivers are about to take to the track for 777 kilometers around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tyler Aspinall surprises the field here by setting on the pole right alongside the dominant one, Al Bunch. Behind them, you've got Atlee Weiss and Eli the Wolf making a one-off start here. Jacob Shangle and Lucas Holmes. Nate Newman and Chaz Chadwick. Chadwick's teammate, Ewan Woodarmy, just behind them with Monty Shangle. Kellen Relic and Tyler Shangle. Chris Harvey and Tyler Landa. Lynn Farrell and Alan Taylor. Tim Corden and Tayden Berggren. Kerry Shangle, Jack Ross. Brian DeBlank and Dalton Scott, Nelson Chacon and Tristan Reams, Elizabeth Shangle and John Roman. Then you've got Tom Cording in the 90 today, alongside Andre Stefan, Guido Piano, Cam Jordan, James Reddick, Chris Hergeson, Justin Day2 and Ant Meeperson, Daniel Paulus Jr. and Bella Fawn, Matthew Fastnot and Jordan Walker, Louis Trost and Trevor Walker, with John Brinker and James Robert rounding out your field here for the 777 Annual at Las Vegas. Oh no, Al Bunch has a mechanical failure right off the start here. Flat tire. He's going to spend at least a lap or two on pit road here. You know, I don't know how you could script this. The 81 just has some of the most tremendously, terribly bad luck, as the rest of the field has to try and catch up here for the restart. 94 is going to inherit the outside front row for the restart. And here we go. Green flag waving on the 777 Annual. And it's actually Eli the Wolf off to the early lead here, with Lucas Holmes and Chaz Chadwick now into third. I'm amazed at just the sheer tremendous craziness of bad luck, man. It is something else for poor old Al Bunch, who's going to now be trapped 2 laps down here today at the start of the 777 Annual. If he gets a couple cautions, though, he can get some wave rounds. And just like that, we do have our first caution here, as they're wrecking at the back end of the field. And it's taking a little bit longer to fix the flat there on Al Bunch. It seems a little bit more than flat tire, maybe. Oh, the 99 got crumpled up. Wonder if that had anything to do with the initial start. If you look, the 99 probably... Wow, we had 2 drivers with flat tires at the beginning of this. That does not happen. That does not typically happen at any racetrack. So the chaos, it all spawned right from the beginning here. And the 99 already crumpled up with damage, holding up traffic behind him. Starts a 3-car wreck and he's not even involved with. It was just his slow pace that forced him 3 wide and a wreck at the beginning. So that's about par for the course for a crown jewel event. Start of the race here. So Al Bunch only gets one of his laps back here under the first caution. And he's going to have to hope for another quick caution to get that next lap back. He does gain a spot on track with the retirement of the 99. And it's not certain, but we might have a few more retirements before we get the green flag for the restart here. So, if you're new to the series and just now tuning in, welcome aboard. Our Sylvania Cup Series has hosted this 777 annual every year since 2010. It always falls on July 7th of every year, and we have not failed to miss one on the date, on the dot. And that's what makes this race just a little bit extra special, is having that date coincide with the namesake of the race. Just makes it a little bit more special and provides it with a little bit more hype. So it looks like when we get headed to the restart here, Kellen Relic and Eli the Wolf are going to lead them all to the restart, doubled up. Chaz Chadwick, Monty Shangle, Tyler Aspinall, Lucas Holmes, and Tyler Landa. You got 3 Tylers in the top 10. It's a Jaguar front row here between Kellen Relic and Wolf. There we go. Kellen gets the early lead here. Monty Shangle dipping down low. They're going to go on the attack here. The 94. Eli the Wolf, Chaz Chadwick shuffles up here. Tyler Shangle now fighting for the lead. Tyler Shangle has managed to win 2 of these 777 annual events. Seems like he's got a knack for Vegas here. Actually, even Monty Shangle right there behind him has had a pretty good track record here, winning it once at least, and having quite a few good finishes outside of that win. This being one of those races you just want to win, like a Daytona 500. Adds a nice, neat little check mark on your driver's resume saying, I won the 777 annual in the Sylvania Cup Series. 15 years strong. This race is probably one of the only races that's got a history that large with the events, event standing staying the same as it has. It's been at Vegas every year. It's been on the same day of the year every year. July 7th. It's a perfect race for these guys to prove their worth. Kellen Relic going past Monty Shangle here for third. Eli the Wolf looking to make it maybe 3 wide here. Didn't have the window open up quite in time, but instead both of them are going to freight train past the 38 car. And look at Atlee. Atlee Weiss, our defending Sylvania Cup champion, joining the party here. Yep, so only one retirement. Al Bunch still 1 lap down. He's gained a couple more spots due in part to the other drivers that sustained damage. Nate Newman here in the top 10. Tom Cording up towards the top 15, as well as his brother Tim Cording. Youch, Jacob is dropped all the way back to 22nd at the moment. Struggling a little bit here on this run. Al Bunch doing the best he can to try and navigate traffic. This is kind of the danger zone. You do not want to be in this wasp's nest of damaged vehicles. This actually gets to show us what Al Bunch can do mired in traffic, whether or not he's got the best car to work his way around all these other contenders. Here we go, Tyler Shangle trying to go for the lead. Chaz Chadwick holding the lead here early, but lap traffic's gonna get sprinkled in here. And this is gonna bunch everyone back up. This track's dangerous, and if they can get by Fastnot, we might just have to give him the DQ flag, so as to not force another big wreck here tonight. It's looking hairy. Chadwick gonna pay the ultimate price here and get knocked way out from where he was running. It's gonna help Tayden Bergeron a little bit. Gonna help Tyler Landa, Liz Shangle. We'll have to skim ahead and see who's. As long as they're only about 1 second off the pace, we should be fine. But the 09, it's about 2 seconds off the pace. Sorry, Fastnot. Unfortunately, the damage dealt during the first wreck is going to be too much for you to bounce back from here today. all in the meantime, if we go back to our leaders here, it's Atlee Weiss who stole the lead away. Atlee found his way past all of them. Tyler Shangle falls back to third. Monty Shangle up to second. Kellen Relic in the top 5 with Tyler Aspinall now up to fourth. Aspinall was the original pole setter, so he's trying to work his way back up to the front. Here comes Monty on a hard charge. Look at on the back stretch here. He's almost got the momentum. Is he going to make it work? Is he going to blow by Atlee going into turn 3? There's side by side coming out of turn 4. Yeah, Atlee stretches it out on the high side there. Atlee's going to lead that lap. But Monty has the momentum, and I think Atlee's only going to hold on to that for about one more lap here. I'll be damned. Atlee set up a charge on the high side and retains the lead over Monty Shangle. This being one of the longer races that we host, 777 kilometers. As long as another caution waves, Al Bunch would get back on the lead lap, and it's going to be interesting to see what Al Bunch can do trying to fight his way back through the field. He's still stuck back here in traffic. He's not making quick work of the traffic, but he has made it about halfway through the field here. So it still goes to show that he's got a strong car capable of making moves and passes here today. Off to some great racing here already. 26 laps in. Nate Newman, actually your fastest lap turned earlier in the race. It's actually quite nice that this race falls on lap race 20 of race 40, so we're halfway through the season yet again hosting the 777 annual. Last year was the first time that this race was midway, and now again second year in a row it's midway through the season yet again. It's going to be actually more ideal to do that, I think, going forward, is try and make this the midway point. It would make sense to build the schedule around the 777 annual, a lot like you would build a schedule around the Daytona 500. Try to make this July 7th race always be race 20. That could be done. Midway point, so that we've got a big name race at the mid-season here to prove everyone, prove the talent, prove the battles and everything that's going on. Little tidbit of my experience. It seems like Monty Shangle has quite the runs during the summer. Every year he seems to find a little bit extra in the tank, fighting for wins in the summer. This year has been a struggle for that 38 team. And yet again, even though he's been struggling this year, here he is today running second in the heat of the summer for the 777 annual. Goes to show you there might be something to that theory that when it heats up for the summer, that 38 team just gets a little bit hotter. It has not been the season for Monty that he is expected out of that team. They've been struggling. They haven't even won a race yet this year, and they've been lucky to get top 10s most of the time. So see how long this race is and where he ends up at the end after the dice are rolled. Side by side with Atlee going into turn one. He's going to take the lead away from Atlee here. You're going to cruise ahead and lead for the first time this evening. Side by side in turn three. Atlee not giving an inch, but Monty about ready to close the door on him. Oh, not quite. Atlee drives it around the high side and maintains the lead yet again. It's been some great racing so far. Some surprise names here in the top 10. You got Taden Bergeron running 7th. Could potentially be one of his best finishes in the Cup Series ever. You got Liz Shangle running 9th. Liz, one of the lone Shangles not to win this event yet. Monty gets the lead. There we go. That's how you do it. Closes the door on Atlee and holds the lead for now. And here comes hard charge from Liz as she's going to go past Aspinall and set the battle to Lucas Holmes there in the 26. Man, Taden Bergeron now up into the top 5. Atlee doesn't want to hold second for very long. He's going to get back the lead here from Monty. Monty on that high side now needs to set his targets on defending for second and third. Kellen Relic has entered the party at the front of the field. How about that for parity? We've got 5 different manufacturers all running in the top 5. Got Toyota of Atlee, the Ford of Monty, Jaguar of Kellen, the Honda of Chaz, the Chevy of Taden Bergeron. Heck, if you go even a little bit further back, you've got the Dodge of Tyler Shangle. So 6 different manufacturers in the top 7. And of course, there's only 9 different manufacturers. So 6 of the 9 all running at the front of the field here today. That's an impressive amount of parity there. Our 4-dog battle brewing here at the front of the field. Atlee holding it over Monty. Chaz Chadwick thinking of making it 3 wide here almost. Chaz drives it in deep through turns 3, heading out of turn 4. Monty is going to have the rubber band momentum on the outside there. With all of this, it shakes out. Liz Shangle up to 5th. Now she's got her sights set on the front of the field here. It's kind of weird. Monty Shangle Motorsports, we have seen when the team is on, the entire team is on. You got Monty in 2nd, you got Liz in 5th, you've also got John Roman in 8th. If we look a little further back, Alan Taylor not too far out of the picture, still in the top 15. So the entire 4-car team fighting for it here today in Vegas. I guess Vegas in a way, since we didn't really have any local tracks close by for real NASCAR, this could be considered home track advantage for the Shangle household. But of course, real life NASCAR didn't race at Evergreen Speedway, which Evergreen would definitely be our home NASCAR track. So if you look at a NASCAR calendar though, this would be one of our closer tracks, it in Phoenix, or even Sonoma or Fontana that's no longer existing. So yeah, no, at least regionally, it's a pretty good track for the household. Atlee doing his best at the lead here. This race being 777 kilometers, the big factor is once we get into green flag pit stop runs. It really does kind of shake up the whole running of this race. And the way it is right now, Al Bunch desperately needs another caution, but doesn't look like we're getting another caution for a while here. We've got a long green flag run going here. The only reason we had that first caution was all the pandemonium before the race even started, when we had 2 drivers from the start have a flat tire rolling off the grid. And so Al Bunch 1 lap down in 38th. If Al Bunch is fortunate enough, he might be able to just race around the entire field to get his lap back. So as you see, he's right now up into running behind the 18th place driver. And not a lot of ground separating him from the leader of the race here, Atlee Weiss. So yeah, no, if this race stays green for the entire 777 kilometers now, which is not completely unheard of, it's going to take Al Bunch the entire field and then some to get back in contention for the win. So this is kind of where this race separates itself from the others, is the strategy game. You don't often see strategy panning out on mile-and-a-half cookie cutters like this one. But the racing is superb, and when you get long green flag runs where the racing like this, you don't see many wrecks. Just hard, great racing all the way from start to finish. It does come down to who can make the fastest pit stop under green conditions. And so with it brings this whole other element of the game that these guys have to, be on top of their game. We seen it one year where Dale Jr. won this race because of his pit stops. He was able to get on pit road quicker than anyone else, almost illegally quicker. Sometimes you get caught speeding or cutting through the grass. I can't believe they didn't nab him for doing, illegal pit stop here. But he got away with it and was deemed the winner that year, back in like 2017 or 2018. So pit stops are going to be a huge key here this evening. Monty Shangle going by Kellen Relic, Chaz Chadwick, Eli the Wolf, John Roman. That's another storyline we'll have to keep our eyes on. The Shangle household between Jacob, Tyler, and Monty have gotten a win in this event. Sprinkle in the newcomer. Kara Shangle has not won here, of course, yet. Nor has Liz Shangle, after as many years this series has run the event. Liz has failed to take home victory yet, so Shangle household may be looking to try and get another name on the list of winners here at Vegas. Well, we weren't able to quite send the 22 packing there, so we're going to have to wait till everyone gets by. And hopefully... Oh, that was close with Kellen there. Hopefully we don't have a wreck with this lap traffic in the way. Alrighty, we are back on the Golden Trail here. Number 6 is still quite a ways out from going the next lap down here, but it's going to be pit stops. Pit stops happening here on lap 61. So the undercut for Kellen Relic. He's coming in early and very few others taking the opportunity for the undercut here. This could be key to getting the lead for a brief period on exit, but you always have to worry about the danger zone right here. If you get a caution while you're on pit road, you can end up getting trapped a lap down. Still staying green. As you see, he's a lap down right now. No one else seems to be pitting. So almost makes you wonder if there was a unscheduled pit stop here for the 87. Very few other takers down pit road the next lap. And here comes our leader on lap 63. So it's going to take a couple laps for everything to shuffle out here as to who's going to be the leader. Ooh, Tyler Aspinall, Monty Shangle, Kellen Relic, though, on the undercut. Might be the biggest gainer here. Tim Cording about to go a lap down. Once all of these drivers exit pit road, it should be Kellen Relic shuffling around back to the lead here. Performing the undercut to perfection, 87 has gained a huge advantage over the rest of the field. Getting held up by the sixth, slower traffic of the six here. Kellen Relic with the lead. Monty Shangle further back in second. And then your battle for third here is where it looks interesting. We'll keep our eyes on this prize right here. Due in part to all the retirements and disqualifications, Al Bunch has already worked his way up to 33rd, running one lap down here. He's still hoping to get that one caution so that he can join the fight for the win here today. Well, Tim Cording's illegal pass in the grass to enter pit road really punished him here. He was in a top 10 position, but instead now is a lap down in 31st place. 32nd. So ultimately made a mistake, miscalculation, and I expect that won't happen again after making that illegal pit road entry. One way to really throw away your race here today. I think we're laying witness to one of Kellen Relick's greatest seasons to date. He's been at it for about 10 of the 15 years in the Sylvania Cup Series, and of those years, he hasn't had this kind of pace week in, week out, where he could get a win on any given weekend. Especially since his teammate is Al Bunch, and we've already seen Al Bunch rack up 7 wins here, which he's on pace for 14 wins if he keeps at that pace, and that's going to be uncharted grounds, as no one in this series has ever got double-digit wins in a season. So 7 wins to Al Bunch's name in 19 races. And even tonight, I wouldn't count him out here at Vegas. You never know. That 81 is very strong and could very well find himself back on the lead lap fighting for the win before the end of this one. As always, there is a lot of racing left to go. Kellen Relic has a 3.5 second lead over Monty Shangle. Hasn't been a whole lot of drama here since our first caution of the race back early on lap 2 or 3, where it was long green flag run of at least 80 laps now. John has caught up to Monty, the two teammates, about to be duking it out for second place. John Roman has won the first crown jewel event in our season at Daytona for the Daytona 500. It's actually very rare to win multiple crown jewel events in this series, as mostly it's different walks of the racing circuit. You don't often see someone win the super speedway, which is a true wild card, come here to Vegas, win it at Vegas, and then go on for the third of the Triple Crown. They missed Charlotte. Unfortunately, Charlotte was won by Tyler Shangle. So Tyler ended up winning Charlotte Crown Jewel event. This is Crown Jewel number 3. And we even have a 4th Crown Jewel event later on where we go to Darlington for the Southern 500. And that'll be a throwback race. That's only in 10 races time when we hit Darlington for race number 30. And we've got quite a few drivers lined out with throwback paint schemes for that race. It'll be exciting. This has been a frantic month of July so far. A lot of racing packed up into one short week so far in the month of July. This is all in part because I'll be gone and out of commission for the rest of July, basically. So I'm trying to get as many races pumped out as quickly as possible. And I've done pretty good. We've only got maybe 3 more races that need running. And I've got more than enough time. Then I can start focusing on paint schemes and putting together our next big event, which will be the Music Fest Grand Prix in October. Wow, would you look at that? Al Bunch starting to work his way through the lead pack here. He wants to get back on the lead lap. Monty's still holding down second, but his deficit stretching out even further as Kellen Relic has a 4-second lead right now. Now Kellen Relic Getting through some more lap traffic. Tim Cording gets by Kellen here. And that lead shrinking. What was 4 seconds is down to 3.2. Kellen Relic, actually, I think the tires must be wearing down on that 87. Turns a 27.9 this lap. Compare that to Monty, who turned a 27.9. They turned identical laps right to the T, 27.947 for both of them. So that deficit stays the same. The only difference is Kellen is dealing with lap traffic. Monty, not so much. He's got some clear track in front of him still. Kellen was a little bit faster that lap, so he starts to tamp that lead again. He started to stretch out the lead a little bit more on Monty in second. Jaguar dominance has been the talk of 2024 so far. Ouch, Monty gets way out of line here. He's getting shuffled out with lap traffic. Jordan Walker, ooh, and they almost wreck. They almost wrecked. That could have took out Al Bunch there. Al Bunch counting his lucky blessings that didn't get worse. So as the rest of the field has to shuffle through the lap traffic here, 31 doesn't look to be as much of a hazard or roadblock as that 5 was. But here's Al Bunch right up here behind 5th place, Tyler Shangle. Rather 4th. That means Al's only got 3 more spots to pass, and then he could be getting his lead lap back, even without a caution here today. He's going to do it the hard way, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me that Al Bunch is going to find the hard way to make things work here today. He's running laps in the 27-second bracket, so honestly, it's actually kind of scary to think that his car is that good here today. The benefactor of this race being longer allows for something like this to actually pan out. We know that Al Bunch has the speed, has the pace. Does he have the patience, and does he have the machinery? We are 1/3 of the way through the race here, basically. Here we go, Al Bunch getting by Atlee Weiss. Now he's got second place, John Roman, right there in front of him. Well, holy cow here, guys. 81 of Al Bunch is on a mission. Most people would be tuned in now and thinking that Al Bunch was actually running second, fighting for the lead. But instead, he's 33rd, one lap down. And he's raced his entire way through the field here in about 100 laps time. And could potentially get his lead lap back. If all it takes is for Al Bunch to run the entire field in 100 laps, we've still got 200 and some laps to go. Al Bunch could race his way through the entire field one more revolution and truly be fighting for the win. It's a very, very stout number 81 car. Now 32nd now. Seems someone else has dropped out. no matter what, even Al Bunch will still want for a caution here so that it can help his case a little bit. But not looking like he necessarily needs that caution, even though it would help him even when he passes the 87 to get his lap back. It would help shuffle him around back to the back end of the field. And then the rest of the field will be quaking in their boots, knowing that the 81 is on the same lap as them, fighting for the win here in Vegas. Al Bunch already running on a 2-race win streak. Back-to-back wins in the last 2 races. And look at that lap traffic starting to shuffle back here. This is going to be a tough stretch here. We're going to have to let them settle this. This could get ugly. You could get UGLY ugly. Al Bunch back on the lead lap. Kellen Relic had to do his early pit stop yet again. He's on the super undercut early stops. So 61 to 120, about 60 laps. 60 laps. So he'll be able to round it out to about lap 300 before he has to make his final pit stop. Here comes Al Bunch down pit road with the next fleet of cars. Only briefly was Al Bunch on the lead lap. But we'll see how this shakes out and where he is in relation to Kellen once they're done with their pit stops. These folks rejoining the racing surface now. Kellen Relic just now passed the start-finish line. He's going to be coming through turn 1. In the middle of turn 2, on the exit of turn 2, so they're going to lose a little bit of time to Kellen here. So his next pit stop should be right about lap 180. So far, everyone has been playing nice since the start of the race. We've only had that one caution so far. And honestly, the laps are flying by pretty quickly here this evening. These drivers are putting on a masterclass performance. Even if Al Bunch doesn't get his lap back immediately, he's going to have some drivers that he can be fighting for position here. Tim Cording, Cam Jordan, Ant Me Person, and even Nelson Chacon. The only deal too with this lap traffic, that opens up possibilities for another wreck to happen here soon. Once these leaders start navigating through all the lap traffic, it puts a stress on our leaders that is hard to overcome. Well, we've been non-stop green flag racing since the first caution way back on lap 2. We are about 150 laps into this long green flag run and almost halfway through the race. Al Bunch gets his lap back. He is now back on the lead lap in 20th place. Amazing as that is, Al Bunch makes it from 2 laps down to being on the lead lap halfway through the race. So Al Bunch now has his sights set on racing back around the entire field again, which took him half the race to get his lap back. We'll keep an eye on his deficit and see if he starts closing that gap back up on Kellen again. Al Bunch just has a very stout car here today. He starting to shrink that lead again. Man, he's gonna be roaring all the way around this field again to try and take the win. That is gonna be crazy. That lap, he just cut it down by about half a second. So if he gains about half a second every lap, he'll be there almost in another 60 laps. Obviously, 60 laps is a fuel run, so pit stops will get sprinkled in there. So you almost got to say it's going to be more like 90 laps before he's back in the mix here today. Didn't gain any time on that lap though, so it's going to be hit or miss, but whichever laps he does cut half a second off of is going to be huge in breaking into that deficit, and he's got a lot of laps left to do it here today.